January 24th, God warns, never keep these 4 items in your bedroom. There are moments in life when heaven tries to get our attention. Not through thunder, not through fear, but through a quiet warning that carries eternal wisdom. Today is one of those moments because many people are praying for peace, praying for protection, praying for blessings in their lives, yet they unknowingly allow certain things to remain in the most sacred place of their home, their bedroom. Your bedroom is not just a room. It is the place where your spirit rests. It is the place where your mind resets. It is the place where dreams are formed, prayers rise, and your soul reconnects with God. But if the wrong things are present there, they can silently disturb your peace, weaken your spirit, and block the atmosphere of blessing. And today, this is a warning. There are 4 things you should never keep in your bedroom if you want spiritual clarity, peace, and divine protection. Listen carefully, because this message may change the atmosphere of your home forever. 1. Objects that carry negative memories. Some people keep items in their bedroom that constantly remind them of pain, betrayal, heartbreak, or failure. Old gifts from toxic relationships, letters that reopen emotional wounds, pictures connected to moments of deep sorrow. Every time your eyes see these things, your spirit relives the pain. Your bedroom should be a place of healing, not a museum of emotional scars. When you remove objects tied to negative memories, you are not erasing your past. You are freeing your future. Peace cannot live in a place that constantly replays pain. 2. Items connected to darkness or fear. Anything that symbolizes darkness, evil, or spiritual confusion has no place where you rest. Objects linked with occult practices, disturbing symbols, or anything that creates fear in your heart can influence the atmosphere of your room. Even if people keep them as decoration or curiosity, they can quietly disturb the spiritual environment. Your bedroom should feel light, calm, and safe. If something in that room makes your spirit uneasy, that feeling is not random. Sometimes the soul senses what the eyes ignore. Remove anything that brings heaviness to your spirit. 3. Constant sources of noise and distraction. Your bedroom was not designed to be a battlefield of noise. Screens glowing all night. Endless scrolling. Loud devices that keep your mind restless. When your mind never truly rests, your spirit becomes exhausted. Many people wake up tired, not because their body is weak, but because their soul never found silence. Create an atmosphere where peace can breathe. Sometimes the greatest blessing is simply a quiet room where your heart can slow down and reconnect with God. 4. Clutter that blocks. Peace, clutter may seem small, but it carries powerful energy. A room filled with chaos reflects a mind that never finds stillness. Piles of unnecessary items, broken things, and unused objects can make your space feel heavy and overwhelming. Peace loves order. When your room becomes clean and simple, your thoughts become clearer, your rest becomes deeper, and your spirit becomes lighter. A peaceful room invites a peaceful mind. Now hear this clearly. Many people search for peace in distant places, yet the first place peace should live is the room where you sleep. When your bedroom becomes a space of calm, light, and spiritual clarity, your mind rests differently, your prayers feel stronger, and your mornings feel renewed. Small changes in your environment can create powerful changes in your life. So tonight, take a moment. Look around your room carefully. Pause for a moment and think about this. The place where you close your eyes every night is shaping the life you wake up to every morning. Many people never realize this. They search for peace in the outside world. They look for strength in other people, and they pray for clarity in their decisions. Yet, the very place where their mind and spirit recharge is often neglected. Your bedroom is not just another room in your house. It is a deeply personal space where your body rests, your mind resets, and your spirit quietly rebuilds itself after the battles of the day. Have you ever noticed how the environment around you can change the way you feel within seconds? Walk into a calm, clean, quiet room, and suddenly your breathing slows down. Your shoulders relax. Your thoughts become softer. But step into a room filled with chaos, noise, and heaviness, and something inside you becomes restless. This is not coincidence. Your surroundings speak to your mind even when no words are spoken. The bedroom is where your mind releases the weight of the day. It is where your heart finally lets go of the pressure you carried for hours. Every night when you lie down, your body begins a silent process of restoration. Muscles relax, the brain organizes memories, and the soul searches for peace. That process is powerful, but it becomes stronger or weaker depending on the atmosphere around you. Imagine trying to recharge your phone with a broken charger. No matter how long you leave it plugged in, the battery never truly fills. In the same way, if your bedroom is filled with tension, clutter, negativity, or distractions, your spirit never fully recharges. You may sleep for 8 hours and still wake up exhausted, not because your body didn't rest, but because your environment never allowed your mind and spirit to find real calm. This is why the space where you sleep must be treated with intention. It should be a place that welcomes peace the moment you step inside. A place where your thoughts slow down and your heart feels safe enough to release its worries. Think about the nights when you felt truly rested, when you woke up with a clear mind and a lighter spirit. Those moments often happen when the environment around you supports stillness and comfort. There is something powerful about walking into your bedroom and feeling that the world outside has paused. The stress of work, the noise of people, the pressure of expectations, all of it should remain outside that door. Inside that space, your mind should feel permission to rest without fear, without tension, without the constant weight of unfinished problems. Many people underestimate how deeply their environment affects their mental and emotional strength. They focus on changing their schedule, their habits, their routines, yet they forget that the atmosphere where they rest every night quietly shapes their energy for the next day. A peaceful room sends a message to your mind. It tells your brain that it is safe to slow down. It tells your spirit that it is time to recover. Your bedroom becomes a silent partner in your life's journey. It supports your recovery after difficult days. It becomes the place where dreams form in the quiet hours of the night. It is the environment that prepares your mind for tomorrow's challenges and tomorrow's opportunities. When that space is calm, organized, and peaceful, it strengthens your ability to wake up with clarity, confidence, and renewed energy. Think about this for a moment. How many things around you are quietly reminding you of a past you are trying to forget? Sometimes the objects we keep close to us carry more than physical weight. They carry emotional weight. A simple photograph, an old gift, a letter tucked away in a drawer, or even a small item placed on a shelf can hold memories that reopen wounds every time you see them. And here is the surprising truth. Many people never realize your mind reacts to these reminders instantly, even when you don't consciously think about them. The moment your eyes notice that object, your brain travels backward. Suddenly, the feelings return, the disappointment, the betrayal, the sadness, the regret. It happens silently, almost invisibly, but it happens again and again. Why would you allow something to stay in the place where you rest if it constantly brings your spirit back to pain? Your bedroom should be a space where your heart finds relief, not a place where old emotions are replayed like a movie that never ends. Yet many people unknowingly turn their bedrooms into museums of past struggles. They keep gifts from relationships that broke their trust. They store objects connected to painful experiences. They hold on to letters that remind them of words that once hurt deeply. The mind is powerful, but it is also deeply influenced by its surroundings. When certain objects remain in your daily environment, they keep your emotions connected to moments that should have already been released. You may believe you have moved on, yet each time your eyes pass over that reminder, your subconscious revisits the past. Have you ever noticed how a single object can instantly bring back a memory from years ago? That is the power of association. Your brain links physical items with emotional experiences. When those items remain in your personal space, the emotions attached to them remain active in your mind. Now imagine trying to build a peaceful future while your environment keeps pulling your spirit backward. Healing requires space. Growth requires distance from what once caused harm. Sometimes The most powerful step forward is simply letting go of the things that keep your heart tied to old chapters of your life. Letting go does not mean denying what happened. It means refusing to allow the past to control your present atmosphere. Some people hold on to these items because they believe they are part of their story. They feel that removing them means erasing something important. But the truth is this: your story lives inside you, not inside objects. The lessons you learned, the strength you gained, and the wisdom you developed are already part of who you are. You do not need physical reminders of pain to remember how far you have come. There is something incredibly freeing about clearing your space from items connected to negative memories. When those objects disappear, the emotional triggers connected to them slowly fade. Your mind begins to breathe differently. Your heart feels lighter without fully understanding why. Your room becomes quieter emotionally. The atmosphere shifts in subtle but powerful ways. Instead of walking into a space that reminds you of old wounds, you step into a place that supports healing and growth. Every object in your bedroom sends a message to your mind. Some messages in hope. Some messages in courage, peace, strength, and hope. Others quietly whisper memories of pain and disappointment. The question becomes simple but powerful. Which message do you want surrounding you every single night before you sleep, and every single morning when you wake up? Sometimes protecting your peace begins with a simple decision to remove what reminds your spirit of moments that no longer deserve space in your present life. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt uncomfortable without knowing exactly why? Nothing obvious was wrong, yet something inside you felt uneasy. Your mind became alert, your body felt tense, and your peace disappeared in seconds. That feeling is not random. Human beings have a deep sensitivity to their environment, and sometimes your spirit senses things your eyes do not fully understand. Now think about the place where you rest every night. The place where your mind becomes quiet, where your thoughts slow down, where your guard drops and your soul becomes most vulnerable. What kind of atmosphere surrounds you in that moment? Is it filled with calmness, light, and comfort? Or is there something that quietly creates fear, heaviness, or confusion? Many people decorate their rooms without realizing that certain objects carry emotional or psychological influence, symbols connected to darkness, images that create fear, disturbing figures, or items associated with negative ideas can slowly affect the atmosphere of a space. Even if someone keeps them as decoration or curiosity, the energy they create can quietly disturb the peace of the room. Your mind absorbs everything it sees repeatedly. If your eyes constantly look at images that represent darkness, danger, or confusion, your brain begins to associate your personal space with those emotions. The result is subtle but powerful. Instead of feeling safe and relaxed in your bedroom, your mind remains slightly alert, slightly uneasy, unable to fully release tension. Have you ever noticed how a room filled with light colors, simple designs, and peaceful objects makes you feel calm almost immediately? That is because the human brain responds strongly to visual signals. When your surroundings communicate peace and safety, your body relaxes. Your breathing becomes slower. Your thoughts become clearer. But when your environment contains things that represent fear or negativity, your mind reacts in the opposite way. Even if you don't consciously think about it, your brain stays on guard. It becomes harder to enter a deep state of rest because your environment does not feel completely safe. The place where you sleep should feel like a shelter for your mind and spirit. It should be the one space where your thoughts are free from pressure, where your emotions are allowed to calm down, and where your heart can finally release the stress it carried all day. If something in that space creates discomfort or heaviness, it interrupts that process. Sometimes people ignore these feelings because they believe objects are just objects. But the truth is that the human mind constantly interprets the meaning behind what it sees. A symbol, an image, or an item can trigger emotions instantly. Your brain does not separate decoration from meaning. It reacts to both at the same time. This is why protecting the atmosphere of your bedroom matters so much. When your room is filled with things that represent calmness, positivity, and clarity, your mind begins to associate that space with safety. Each night when you step into the room, your body automatically prepares to relax. Your shoulders loosen. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your thoughts slow down naturally because the environment is encouraging peace rather than tension. But when the opposite is true, when items connected to fear or darkness remain in that space, your mind never fully relaxes. Something inside you stays alert even when you are trying to rest. Over time, this quiet tension can affect your sleep, your mood, and even the way you feel when you wake up each morning. The environment you create around your resting place quietly shapes the emotional atmosphere you live in every day. Look around for a moment and ask yourself an honest question. When was the last time your mind experienced true silence? Not just the absence of people talking, but real deep quiet where your thoughts could finally slow down. In today's world, silence has become rare. Screens glow late into the night. Notifications appear every few seconds. Ideas play endlessly, and the mind never truly disconnects. Many people believe they are resting because their body is lying in bed, yet their mind is still running at full speed. Think about what happens during the last 30 minutes before you fall asleep. For many people, that time is filled with strolling through phones, watching videos, answering messages, or jumping from one piece of information to another. The brain keeps receiving stimulation long after the body is tired. Instead of preparing for rest, the mind stays alert, active, and overwhelmed with input. The human brain was not designed to process endless noise and distraction without pause. It needs moments of stillness to recover, just as muscles need time to relax after physical work. The mind needs quiet spaces to reset after hours of thinking, worrying, planning, and reacting to the world around it. Now imagine trying to fall asleep in the middle of a busy marketplace. Voices everywhere, lights flashing, movement constantly surrounding you. Your body might be exhausted, but your mind would remain alert because the environment signals activity instead of rest. Surprisingly, this is exactly what happens when a bedroom is filled with constant digital distractions. Every notification sound, every bright screen, every sudden vibration tells your brain that something requires attention. Your mind reacts instantly, releasing small bursts of alertness. These reactions may seem tiny, but when they happen repeatedly throughout the evening, they prevent the brain from entering a calm state. Have you ever noticed how difficult it becomes to sleep after spending a long time on your phone? Your eyes may feel heavy, yet your thoughts continue racing. Your brain replays videos you watched, messages you read, ideas you encountered. Instead of drifting into peaceful rest, the mind keeps jumping from one thought to another. Silence is powerful because it gives the mind permission to slow down. When the room becomes quiet, the brain begins to reduce its activity naturally. Breathing becomes deeper, heart rate slows, and the body gradually prepares for sleep. This process is essential for mental recovery. Your bedroom should be one of the few places in the world where your mind is allowed to disconnect from constant stimulation. When the lights are soft, the sounds are minimal, and the distractions are removed, something remarkable begins to happen. Your thoughts become clear. Your emotions settle. The mental pressure built up throughout the day slowly fades away. Many people wake up tired, not because they lacked sleep, but because their mind never truly rested. It remained engaged with information, noise, and stimulation until the moment sleep finally forced it to shut down. Without quiet moments before sleep, the brain cannot properly organize memories, process emotions, or recharge its mental energy. Creating silence in your bedroom is not about removing comfort or enjoyment. It is about protecting a small window of time where your mind can breathe. A calm environment tells your brain that the day is ending and recovery is beginning. The fewer distractions present in that moment, the easier it becomes for your mind to transition from activity to rest. The difference between a restless night and a deeply refreshing sleep often begins with the level of quiet your mind experiences before your eyes close. Take a slow look around your room and ask yourself something simple but powerful. Does this space feel calm, or does it feel crowded and overwhelming? At first glance, clutter may seem like a small and harmless thing. A few piles of clothes on a chair, books stacked in random places, unused items sitting on shelves, small objects scattered across tables. Many people tell themselves they will organize it later. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and slowly the room becomes filled with things that no longer serve a purpose. But here is something most people never realize. Clutter does more than take up physical space. It quietly takes up mental space as well. Every object in your room sends signals to your brain. Your mind notices the unfinished tasks, the disorder, the visual noise, and it begins to feel restless, even if you cannot immediately explain why. Have you ever walked into a messy room and instantly felt less motivated? Your energy drops, your focus disappears, your mind feels scattered. This reaction is not random. The human brain naturally seeks order because order makes thinking easier. When everything around you feels chaotic, your mind struggles to relax. Now imagine trying to rest in a place that constantly reminds your brain of disorder. Instead of feeling calm when you enter your bedroom, your mind stays slightly tense. Your eyes move from one pile to another. Your thoughts jump between things that should be cleaned, organized, or moved. Even if you try to ignore it, your brain keeps registering the mess. Clutter also carries emotional weight. Many items sitting in a room are connected to things we no longer need but feel hesitant to remove. Old papers, broken objects, clothes that are never worn, decorations that no longer bring joy. These things quietly fill the environment with a sense of unfinished business. Think about the difference between two spaces. One room is filled with scattered items, crowded shelves, and objects piled on every surface. The other room is simple, clean, and open, with only the things that truly belong there. The moment you step into the second room, your body feels lighter. Your breathing slows. Your mind becomes clearer. This is because a clean and organized environment not removes visual pressure from the brain. Instead of processing dozens of unnecessary details, your mind experiences space. And that space creates calm. Your bedroom should be the one place where your mind can release the tension of the day. When the environment is clean and simple, your brain receives a quiet signal that says everything is under control. Nothing urgent demands attention. Nothing pulls your focus in multiple directions. Clutter does the opposite. It creates subtle stress because your mind constantly notices unfinished organization. Even when you lie down to sleep, those visual reminders remain in your memory. Your brain continues to process the environment it saw throughout the evening. There is also a deeper psychological effect. There is also a deeper psychological. It strengthens your sense of control over your life. Order in your surroundings often leads to order in your thoughts. When your room feels balanced and calm, Your mind begins to reflect that same balance. Many people believe peace comes from external success, achievements, or changes in circumstances. Yet sometimes peace begins with something much simpler: the environment you create around yourself every day. Removing unnecessary items, clearing surfaces, and allowing your room to breathe can transform the emotional atmosphere of the space. Your mind naturally responds to environments that feel open, clean, and intentional. When your bedroom reflects simplicity and order, it becomes easier for your thoughts to settle and your spirit to relax. Let me ask you a powerful question. Who is responsible for protecting your peace? Many people wait for the world to become quieter, kinder, and less stressful before they allow themselves to feel calm. They believe peace will arrive when circumstances improve, when problems disappear, or when life finally becomes easier. But the truth is something most people discover too late. Peace rarely comes from the outside. It grows from the choices you make about what you allow into your life every single day. Every day, your mind is exposed to hundreds of influences. Conversations, images, sounds, environments, emotions, and thoughts all compete for space in your attention. Some of these influences strengthen you. Others slowly drain your energy without you even realizing it. The difference between a peaceful mind and a restless mind often comes down to one thing: awareness of what you allow to surround you. Have you ever noticed how quickly your mood can change depending on your environment? Spend time in a chaotic place filled with tension and negativity, and you may begin to feel stressed without knowing why. Step into a calm and supportive environment, and suddenly your thoughts feel clearer and lighter. Your surroundings quietly shape your emotional state. Protecting your peace means becoming intentional about these influences. It means understanding that your energy, your focus, and your emotional strength are valuable resources. Just like you would protect something precious from harm, your inner peace deserves the same level of care. Think about the spaces you spend the most time in, the places where you rest, think, reflect, and prepare for the next day. These spaces should support your well-being rather than weaken it. Yet many people allow unnecessary stress into their personal environment. They tolerate distractions, negativity, and discomfort without realizing how deeply those things affect their mind. Peace is not something that appears by accident. It is something you actively create. Every object you keep in your room, every habit you practice before sleep, every influence you allow into your personal space contributes to the atmosphere you live in. Your mind absorbs the signals around it constantly. If your environment communicates calmness, your brain gradually adapts to that calmness. If your environment communicates pressure, disorder, or negativity, your thoughts begin to mirror those conditions. This process happens quietly, but its effects can shape your mood, your energy, and even your outlook on life. Have you ever experienced the feeling of walking into a place that immediately felt peaceful? Maybe the room was simple, organized, and quiet. Nothing demanded your attention. Nothing created tension. Your body relaxed naturally because the environment itself encouraged calmness. That feeling is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate choices about what belongs in that space and what does not.